There's my new pals. Wanna hear a joke? My ex-wife still misses me, but her aim is getting better. Her aim is getting better. It's funny because marriage is terrible. What?
Okay, so that intro has nothing to do with this. Who says air travel has to be stressful? For Mama, her trip from Manila to Bangkok with Cebu Pacific Airlines was the embodiment of smooth sailing. Or should I say, smooth flying? Wink, wink. With just a hand carry in tow for her Bangkok? Okay, so Mama misspelled Bangkok. With just a hand carry in tow for her Bangkok holiday, she breezed through the airport, enjoyed an on-time flight, and arrived in Bangkok feeling excited and ready to explore. Let me tell you how it all went down. Sawadee ka!
Hello, Thailand!
Before we do though, make sure you like the video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and of course ring that notification bell to make sure that you stay up to date on all of our new uploads. Please subscribe or I'll cry. Like really hard. Like I'm going to cry and then it's gonna flood. Like that. From the moment Mama arrived at the airport, everything was seamless. First time seeing this check-in counter with only few people in the line. You mean that there's no line at all. This was one of the perks of traveling early in the morning. Her flight was at 12:10 a.m., so she arrived at the airport just before midnight when it was quiet and peaceful. She didn't purchase for a check-in baggage, she brought only a hand carry for her short getaway, which immediately eliminated the stress of checking in luggage. The check-in process was quick and efficient, thanks to the friendly and organized staff at Cebu Pacific. Since she didn't have any checked baggage, she was able to skip the bag drop-off line entirely and head straight to security. This set for what would be a hassle-free journey from start to finish. Before boarding her early morning flight, Mama made a quick stop at the money changer to exchange some of her piso for Thai baht. She knew that arriving in Bangkok early in the morning might mean that some establishments, like currency exchange counters, wouldn't be open yet. By having Thai baht ready, she ensured that she could buy food or pay for transportation the moment she landed. It was a small but thoughtful step that made her trip even smoother. With plenty of time to spare before her flight, Mama bought herself a cup of coffee at one of the airport cafes because she needs her daily caffeine hit. The only that's legal is caffeine! Okay, I'm gonna calm down. She took this opportunity to finalize some last-minute travel arrangements. She booked her travel insurance and completed her e-travel registration, ensuring everything was in order before her trip, and it gave her peace of mind knowing that all her travel documents were sorted. As she strolled through the airport, Mama couldn't resist a little window shopping. She spotted a bag that she's been eyeing for a long time and decided to try it on in person. Its classic design was the thing that made her like the bag, and it felt just as good as she had imagined. However, true to her practice of delayed gratification, whatever that is, she decided not to buy it right away. Instead, she promised herself to purchase it online later, where she could compare prices and maybe even find a better deal. It was a small moment of self-control that made her feel proud. Also, one step closer to bankruptcy, Mama. I congratulate you. After her little window shopping, Mama made her way to the boarding gate. She found a comfortable seat and settled in, ready to wait for the announcement over the loudspeaker. The airport was quiet at this hour, with only a handful of passengers scattered around. She double-checked her hand carry, ensuring everything was in place for her flight. The boarding announced that the speaker and passengers began to gather, forming a line that snaked toward the gate. She waited as families, travelers, and fellow passengers shuffled forward. I wish my classmates would line up as smoothly as they did. You know how they line up? One of them would be at the front, would run to get to the front of the line. There would be this other person who was also running, and then there would be a big argument over who was there. This is my spot! No, this is my spot! No, this is my spot! Yeah, that's how they line up, and I'm so sick of it. Oh, and I do that too! The queue eventually got shorter and Mama finally stepped forward, her boarding pass in hand. The gate staff greeted her and she made her way to the plane.
Si Miss Christine. Thank you po.
Thank you.
The familiar eye-catching yellow and blue-green tones of the airplane cabin welcomed her. She didn't have a window seat this time. She enjoyed the lively atmosphere of the cabin, with passengers shuffling to their spots and the soft murmur of conversations as she found her seat. She stowed her carry-on and settled in. She always wore a mask on the plane, a practice she had adopted after her previous flights often left her battling sore throat. She learned the hard way that the combination of recycled air, low humidity, and close proximity to other passengers could make her vulnerable to germs. Mama was no stranger to the occasional fever or sore throat after her flight, but this time, she was prepared. But at least I don't have to suffer that because I have a strong immune system because I'm young. Kid Mama. I'm sorry, Mama. Just as Mama settled in, the cabin crew began their demonstration of the plane's safety instructions. Mama watched attentively, even though she had seen the routine countless times before. Departing right on schedule, my mom was impressed. She had planned her 3-day holiday tightly, so the fact that there were no delays was a huge relief. The flight from Manila to Bangkok is just 3 hours and 30 minutes for a brief travel time, occasionally glancing up to check the time. She had finally arrived at Suvarnabhumi Airport, stepping off the planet. The planet, Mama! I didn't know my mother was an astronaut. Mama, what is this on the script? Stepping off the planet? The plane magically turns into a rocket and flies off to the moon. Next destination, Mars. Okay, but for real, she meant to type was stepping off the plane, not planet, plane. She followed the signs towards the immigration area. She joined the line at immigration, where a whole lot of alien species were lining up to... I'm sorry. She joined the line at immigration, where thousands of other life forms from all different galaxies. This was back on planet Earth. Her travel documents neatly organized in her hand. As she stood in line, she moved closer to the counter and she just kept her cool. Finally, when it was her turn, she approached the counter with a smile. And when she was asked about the duration of her stay, she simply stated 3 days. The officer nodded, stamped her passport, granting her 30 days to stay. She accepted the documents with a grateful nod. As she exited the immigration area, the paths are laid out so clearly that arriving passengers are naturally funneled towards the baggage claim area, even though she didn't have any checked-in luggage. As she stood there, not dumbfounded, she took a moment to observe the scene around her, and she quickly noticed the signs pointing towards the SIM card vendors, conveniently located just beside the baggage claimer area, catering to the immediate needs of arriving passengers. The SIM card sellers were lined up in a row of brightly lit booths, and their stalls adorned with colorful banners advertising various mobile plans and data packages. Each vendor seemed eager to assist. Mama took her time to look around. One stall in particular caught her eye. Its branding was her favorite color, green, and it boldly claimed to be the #1 fastest network in Southeast Asia. Wondering how true it was, but the vibrant green and the confident slogan drew her in. Approaching the green branded stall, she was greeted by a friendly seller who immediately began explaining the available plans. Mama listened carefully, asking a few questions to make sure she understood the details. The seller recommended the 299 baht plan, which offered 8 days of unlimited data, more than enough for her 3-day stay. She appreciated the simplicity of the plan and the fact that it didn't require any complicated setup. After a quick confirmation, she decided to go for it, handing over the cash and receiving the SIM card in return. The seller even helped her install it and ensured her phone was properly configured, which she found incredibly helpful.